The project has a long history. We've been thinking about this project in the community since 2001, so it's amazing for us that we've got to the point of actually doing it. We started in 2001 setting up the Osney Sustainable Island Group, which did a survey of all 300 houses on Osney Island to see whether we had support for any of the work that we were thinking of doing. And we got a 35% response rate, which is very high for that sort of survey. Of those 35%, 95% said that they thought climate change was an important issue to tackle, that renewable energy was an important way of tackling that issue, and that of the renewable energy technologies, what they'd like to see on Osney Island was hydro. The purpose of the Osney Lock Hydro project is to generate clean renewable energy for the community of West Oxford, but also to generate an income to support further community energy projects where we're helping people to reduce their energy use and therefore their energy bills. Osney Lock Hydro will generate about 179,000 kilowatt hours a year, which is about 60 houses worth of electricity. It will generate about £2 million for the community over the 40-year life of the project. So it'll give an annual certain income to our sister charity Low Carbon West Oxford over that time, which we think is a really important outcome.
As well as using the hydro as a platform from which to promote sustainable and renewable energy right here in the heart of Oxford, we'd also love to use it as an opportunity to reconnect people with the industrial and social heritage of the site. The site itself is right opposite the very first electrical power station in Oxford. One immediate benefit from the project will be that we are installing a fish pass, and this will be the first time in 200 years that fish will be able to freely move upstream at this point in the river.
The main funding has come from investors, and we've raised a huge amount from local investors. 40% of the investors live very close to the hydro, within about a mile, and 82% of our investors live in Oxfordshire. So we've got a lot of enthusiasm, both from the immediate community and Oxfordshire as a whole.
I think we, as a family, have invested in the project because we've been local residents in West Oxford for 20 years, and we see it as an important element in trying to help with climate change. We live in an area, in a house where the garden gets flooded when the rivers are high, and I see it as a helpful project for the community, for climate change, as a good way of people coming together to produce electricity locally with no real carbon input.
So we've seen it be, a strong force when the river's at flooding level, so it was really exciting to get in a project that turns it into a force for good, and actually having our own kind of micro hydro unit generating out the back of our house was a really exciting thing to get involved with.
We have an absolutely brilliant bunch of people who are willing to give up their time to actually make sure that it moves forward. So I feel very positive about it, and I think it actually gives a much greater sense of community because it is in fact locally based. You can see what's going on round the corner.
In the local community, we've been looking at ways of reducing our carbon footprint. So we've looked at ways of saving energy in our own homes. And the next step was thinking of ways to actually generate our own electricity. And obviously, as you can see, on a grey, misty day like today, sun is not the best option in this area. But we have this huge resource, water flowing past our doors, so we could clearly see that there was potential. And we looked into ways of tapping into that. With a lot of effort from the local community to come up with this idea and to actually generate electricity on our doorsteps. It's just brilliant.
Our project wouldn't have been possible without the real support and collaboration that we've achieved with the Environment Agency. The site of the hydro is actually Environment Agency land, and so of course their cooperation was really important. And when the hydro is actually operational, they are going to be our main customer for the electricity that we generate. Whatever is left over after their consumption will go into the national grid.
Other benefits of this type of scheme is the green energy, because it's on our depot, We've got a building that's run not quite 24/7, but is open quite significant hours and would use a significant amount of electricity. We can then pipe the green electricity straight into our depot. So it improves our green credentials as well. So it's a great opportunity for us, I think, yeah. There's all sorts of benefits to these schemes, and of all the schemes that we've got commercial development ones, and we've got community schemes like the one here at Oxford. And there's some great things there for the community benefits, where it brings communities together. It also generates profits that will go into community schemes for low carbon projects. So we're very keen to support all schemes, but obviously the community ones give the wider benefits that we'd like to support even more. So that's why we're here really with this scheme on Osney Weir.